The cricket star who lost everything in one night but came back to make history. This is his untold story. Kusal Mendis was just another kid playing cricket on dusty streets in Moratuwa, Sri Lanka. No fancy equipment, no rich parents, just pure talent and a dream bigger than his small world. Born in 1995, he grew up in a regular middle-class family where every rupee counted. His father worked a simple government job, and his mother managed the household with whatever little they had. Cricket wasn't just a game for Kusal, it was his escape from a life where luxuries didn't exist. While other kids his age played video games or watched TV, Kusal spent every free moment with a bat in his hands. His first cricket bat wasn't new or expensive. It was old, cracked, and held together with tape. But in his hands, that broken bat created magic that made people stop and stare. The local cricket club where he practiced had no proper facilities. The ground was more dust than grass, and there were no changing rooms. Players changed their clothes behind old buildings or under trees. But Kusal didn't care about these things. All he saw was opportunity. Every ball bowled at him was a chance to get better. Every practice session was a step closer to his dream of playing for Sri Lanka. When Kusal was 15, everything changed in one afternoon. A talent scout was watching a local tournament, looking for promising young players. He had seen hundreds of boys play that season, but none caught his attention like Kusal did. The way this young boy read the ball, the timing of his shots, and his natural instinct were extraordinary. That day, the scout knew he had found something special. Within weeks, Kusal received an invitation that would change his life forever. St. Sebastian's College, one of Sri Lanka's most prestigious schools for cricket, wanted him on their team. But there was a problem. His family couldn't afford the expenses. His father worked extra hours, his mother sold her jewelry, and relatives pitched in to make this dream possible. Kusal knew the sacrifice his family was making, and it put enormous pressure on his young shoulders. Moving to St. Sebastian's was like entering a different world. His new teammates came from wealthy families, spoke perfect English, and had the best cricket gear money could buy. Kusal felt like an outsider. His simple clothes, his accent, and his humble background made him a target for jokes and isolation. Many nights, he called his mother crying, wanting to give up and come home. But his mother's words kept him going. Champions aren't made in comfortable places. The loneliness was crushing, but it also made Kusal stronger. He used every insult, every moment of isolation as fuel for his practice. While his teammates relaxed after school, Kusal stayed back on the ground, working on his technique until it was too dark to see the ball. His dedication was obsessive, and slowly, his performance on the field began to silence his critics. His breakthrough moment came during the Under-19 World Cup trials. Kusal walked to the crease, knowing this was his chance to prove himself. The pressure was immense, hundreds of players competing for just a few spots. But when he started batting, something magical happened. Every shot was perfect, every run was earned with class and determination. He scored a century that left everyone speechless, including former Sri Lankan captain Mahela Jayawardene, who was watching from the stands. That innings changed everything. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know about this young boy from Moratuwa. Cricket experts started comparing him to legends like Kumar Sangakkara. But fame at such a young age came with its own problems. The pressure to perform became enormous, and every failure was magnified by media and fans who expected miracles every time he played. The journey to international cricket wasn't smooth. Several times, Kusal was close to being selected for the national team, only to be dropped at the last moment due to politics or favoritism toward established players. Each rejection felt like a knife to his heart, but his support system never gave up. His first coach, who had worked with him for free during his early years, continued to guide him. The people of Moratuwa treated him like their hero, gathering around radios and televisions whenever he played domestic cricket. In 2015, the call finally came. Kusal was practicing at his local club when the phone rang. The team manager informed him that he had been selected for the Sri Lankan national team. The emotion was overwhelming. He dropped to his knees right there on the dusty pitch where his journey had started. That night, his entire neighborhood celebrated like they had won the World Cup. People danced in the streets, burst crackers, and sang songs until dawn. His international debut was at the Sinhalese Sports Club in Colombo. Walking onto that field, wearing the Sri Lankan jersey, was the fulfillment of every dream he had ever had. The crowd's roar, the weight of representing his country, and the knowledge that millions were watching created emotions he had never experienced. His first innings yielded just 12 runs, but the way he played showed everyone that this was just the beginning of something special. The real announcement to the world came during a tour of Australia but Kusal was different. He became the youngest Sri Lankan to score a century against Australia, playing in innings that shocked even the Australian commentators. Each boundary he hit was met with disbelief. How could someone so young and inexperienced look so comfortable against their best bowlers? Success, however, came with a price. The media attention was intense, sponsorship deals started flowing in, and suddenly Kusal found himself in a world of money and fame he had never imagined. But he remained grounded, always remembering where he came from and the sacrifices his family had made. He bought his parents a proper house and made sure they never had to worry about money again. Just when everything seemed perfect, disaster struck in the most unexpected way. On a quiet evening in July 2020, Kusal was driving through Panadura when his car was involved in an accident that killed a motorcyclist. In one moment, his entire world collapsed. The young man who had been celebrated as Sri Lanka's future was now facing potential jail time and the complete destruction of his career. The arrest was the darkest period of his life. Sitting in a police cell, facing serious charges, Kusal experienced despair he never knew was possible. The media turned against him, sponsors cancelled their deals, and there were calls for him to be banned from cricket permanently. The same papers that had once praised his talent now questioned his character. His mental health suffered terribly, and he seriously considered quitting cricket forever. For months, the legal case dragged on. Every court appearance was covered by media. Every detail of his life was examined and judged. During this time, Kusal's cricket form completely deserted him. The confidence that had made him special was gone, replaced by uncertainty and fear. Teammates and coaches tried to help, but the burden was his alone to carry. The isolation during this period was complete. Friends distanced themselves, fans who once cheered his name now booed him, and the future that had looked so bright seemed permanently destroyed. Kusal would later describe this time as feeling like he was drowning while everyone else swam freely around him. The boy who had overcome poverty and class barriers was now fighting just to survive. When the legal case was finally resolved and serious charges were dropped, there was relief but not celebration. The damage to Kusal's reputation and mental health was severe. Cricket, which had once been his joy and passion, now felt like a burden. Every time he played, memories of that night haunted him. It took extensive counseling and the unconditional support of his family to help him find his way back to the sport he loved. His comeback started quietly in domestic cricket. Those first few matches were painful to watch. The player who had once been fearless and aggressive was now hesitant and uncertain. But slowly, very slowly, the old Kusal began to return. It wasn't just about regaining his technical skills, he had to rebuild his entire relationship with cricket and rediscover why he had fallen in love with the game in the first place. The financial impact of his troubles was devastating. Legal fees had drained his savings, sponsorship money had stopped, and his only income was match fees. The lifestyle that media often wrote about was largely imaginary during this period. He moved back in with his parents and had to sell some possessions to cover expenses. The luxury cars and expensive lifestyle would come much later. These experiences completely changed how Kusal viewed money and success. When financial stability finally returned, he approached wealth with caution and humility that came from having lost almost everything. He became known for quietly supporting young cricketers from poor backgrounds, often paying for their equipment and coaching without seeking publicity. His own struggles had taught him the value of having people who stand by you during difficult times. Between 2021 and 2023, Kusal slowly rebuilt his career and reputation. Each international century was a step toward redemption, and each successful series helped restore the confidence that had been shattered. His wedding in 2021 to his longtime girlfriend, who had supported him through his darkest days, was a private ceremony that showed. His desire to rebuild his life on solid foundations rather than seeking public attention. Cricket experts noticed changes in his playing style during this period. The carefree stroke-making of his youth was replaced by a more careful approach. The boy who had once played with natural instinct was now a mature player who understood that cricket, like life, required both talent and wisdom. His improved wicket-keeping skills also showed the hours of dedicated practice he put in to add value to his team. The breakthrough that would define this new phase of his career came with his selection for the Indian Premier League. Gujarat Titans took a chance on him as a replacement player when many other teams had overlooked him. The decision was questioned by experts who wondered if Kusal could handle the pressure of the world's most demanding cricket league after everything he had been through. His IPL performance was nothing short of sensational. In his very first season, he became the first overseas player to make his debut in the playoffs, creating history and announcing his return to top-level cricket in the most spectacular way possible. The runs he scored weren't just numbers on a scoreboard, they were proof that redemption was possible, that second chances could lead to even greater success. This IPL success transformed his financial situation overnight. His salary from Gujarat Titans, combined with performance bonuses and renewed sponsorship deals, took his net worth from under $1 million to over $5 million in a single season. But more importantly than the money, the success restored his confidence and reminded the cricket world that his talent was undeniable. With financial security came the lifestyle that media loves to focus on. He bought a luxury car, moved his family into a beautiful home, and could finally afford the comforts that his success deserved. But those close to him say that material things hold little appeal beyond providing security for his family. The boy who had grown up with nothing understood the real value of money. Today, Kusal Mendis represents something more than just cricket success. His story proves that our lowest moments often contain the seeds of our greatest victories. Every run he scores carries the weight of his journey. Every celebration includes memories of how close he came to losing everything, and every achievement shows the power of never giving up. He has become exceptionally private about his personal life, having learned from his experiences how brutal public scrutiny can be during difficult times. He rarely discusses his family in interviews, maintains minimal social media presence, and has made it clear that certain aspects of his life remain personal. This has only increased curiosity about his private moments and lifestyle. His current approach to life reflects the balance between enjoying success and maintaining the humility that his struggles taught him. He lives comfortably, but not extravagantly, drives nice cars but nothing too flashy, and spends money primarily on his family's security and comfort. Friends describe him as generous with others, but careful with his own expenses, a personality shaped directly by his experience of financial uncertainty. Kusal Mendis stands today as one of Sri Lanka's most reliable batsmen, a role model for young cricketers and living proof that redemption is always possible. His technique has evolved to suit all formats of cricket, and his leadership qualities are emerging as he mentors younger players. The shy boy who once felt out of place among privileged teammates has become an inspiration for cricketers from similar backgrounds. Subscribe now to discover more untold stories of champions who turned their darkest moments into their greatest victories.